guys, and welcome back. It's your girl, Yummy.com. Thank you for tuning in. Today we have an interesting topic. Fox, don't sue me. Not Fox, sorry. ABC, don't sue me. Disney, don't sue me. I know you have a plethora of lawyers at your hand, but please don't sue me. I have a couple shows that I'm going to be talking about today, and they have all one thing in common, that they've been canceled by ABC Family. Oop, not ABC Family, my bad, Freeform. So, the shows that I'm talking about are near and dear to my heart. They're going to be shows of all different kinds, of all different varieties, and they've all been unjustly, as I see, canceled by Freeform and their new programming or whatever is going on there. I can't tell. Once they rebranded their name, I just didn't know how to catch up. The first one I'm going to be talking about is Stitchers. Stitchers is one of my favorite shows. I go back and rewatch it all the time. It's a procedural drama with a twist. There's always usually a procedural drama with a cop and another person, like Castle, a cop and a writer. I think I've talked about this before. A cop and a person from the old ages, a cop and an anthropologist. Like, it's all different, usual, those kinds of things. This one is a little bit different. There is a cop involved.
Detective Fisher, LAPD.
Eventually he gets involved and becomes a part of the team, spoiler alert, but it's mostly just a team of scientists and Caltech people who have taken a sabbatical, and how they stitch one girl who has temporal dysplasia.
Yes? Polygraphs don't work on me, I fail them.
Because of this condition of yours, temporal
Dysplasia. I have this condition. You know that feeling of deja vu? That's how I feel all the time.
Kirsten stitch her mind into the mind of dead people to solve crimes.
You're getting this guy's dead, degrading brain to talk to you? How?
By inserting a living consciousness into those memories. We call it stitching.
Now, it is essentially mind-blowing because I don't know the science behind it. I don't think the science behind it is real if we're talking seriously, but it's still so good. The characters are, again, say it with me, have depth. That's what we're always looking for. Good writing and has depth to the characters, because even if the story is mundane, if you have colorful, deep characters and like great writing, I will watch it, and mostly the rest of the world will watch it. Let's be real here. We've all watched some mundane systems, like The Office, a pretty mundane, like a paper company. Dunder Mifflin in Scranton, Pennsylvania, paper company. But the characters are so colorful and the writing is so good that we all stayed there for season after season after season until Michael left, and then we probably skipped it and then season. You know what I mean? So I think that this show is one of those shows that has great writing, really smart, witty, back and forth banter, great actors who portray great characters. It baffled me when I found out they weren't coming back with another season, especially because the last season ended on a huge cliffhanger. Like, if you want to know the cliffhanger, go watch the season right now. Go watch the seasons, 3 seasons right now. It's so good. Just, it's such a great show. I don't understand how ABC canceled it, or Disney or Freeform canceled it. Like, it was such a great show, such great cast. We had, for all those who spent their Nickelodeon years with me, like me, not with me, because if you're with me and you're watching this, it's a little bit weird. Anyways, it had our favorite character from Drake and Josh, Mindy, in it.
I think I'm an SA, bitch.
And she was phenomenal. She played Camille, this badass bisexual who was just like in everything. She was a Caltech, I wouldn't say dropout. She took a sabbatical to join the program. She was roommates with the main character. She just was the most interesting character to be written on Freeform possibly ever. And they had beautiful love stories and like will they, won't they's, but like also you were okay if they wouldn't they, because the rest of it was a will they. Like, it was just so good. It was so good, and I don't understand. If you would like to write me a letter and you work for Freeform and you know why that show got canceled, please write me a letter. I will send you my email. DM me. DM a girl and she will send you her email and you can write me a thorough letter as to why that show got canceled. It was so good. So, so good. The next show we have is, this is a rather old one, called The Nine Lives of Chloe King. It was about this girl, again, you know, a lot of Freeform, that's the one thing I will applaud them. A lot of Freeform storylines were like female centric, except for like maybe Baby Daddy or something. But like, which was also unjustly canceled, but we'll talk about that another time. They had a lot of female centric characters, which I really, really loved. And a lot of female centric characters that weren't ultimately dependent on the male characters in the story, which I, again, appreciate, love. Their love stories were just a plus. They weren't the whole highlight of the thing, which I seriously appreciated. But with this show, it was like this girl who was a coming of age story. I think the reason it got canceled is because they got the rights to Shadowhunters.
We're Shadowhunters. We protect the human world from the demon world.
She's in more danger than you can possibly imagine.
If I'm being very honest, I think because the plots are so similar that they were like, we already have Shadowhunters, we don't need Chloe King as well. Which is kind of heartbreaking to me because I really did love the show with a girl with finding her cat powers and her true parentage and all of those things. The coming of age, but with mystical powers kind of story, same as Shadowhunters. And I feel like that's why. But then they unjustly canceled Shadowhunters and it made no sense to me. Now I was like, you have no excuse. You fumbled the bag. Freeform, you fumbled it. Our next show is Bunheads. Bunheads. That's not the theme song, but I will sing it like it's the theme song. Bunheads. Such a good show. A show centric around dancing, but not in the way that you usually see it. Not on these big stages or with these big companies. No. A small dance performance arts center. In the middle of nowhere.
I don't understand.
Marry me.
Married to a man, and then he died and she inherited his things. It's kind of wild, the beginning, but you also get to take a break from those wild moments with like some true teenage fun because a lot of the characters are so young. Like, obviously you follow the characters of like the mother who the guy's mother who like didn't realize that he got married and all these things. You follow the character of the girl who became the owner of this dance studio or whatever, so forth and so on. But there were so many young characters that were there. If you're a fan of faking it,
I thought, what the is wrong with this place?
The blonde girl who's like really annoying and like, hi guys. She's a great actress. I love that she can portray such an annoying character but still give it so much heart. She was in Bunheads originally. She was so good. Still had the same squeaky voice, but was way more lovable than she was in Faking It. Sutton Foster. How did I skip over that? That should have been the first thing I mentioned. Sutton Foster starred in it. Like, Broadway princess, darling of America, Sutton Foster. And you canceled it? You canceled it. You fumbled the bag again, Freeform. You had Sutton Foster in your hands, just like right here. And you canceled it. You fumbled it. You fumbled the bag. Let's be real here. You know you fumbled it. And we all know you fumbled it. And we can try and forgive you with the new things you've given us, but let's be real, Siren isn't that good, so I don't forgive you yet. Let's see what you provide me with in the future. And then we'll see if I forgive you. Next up we have, oh, such a good one. Such a good one. Make It or Break It. Much like Bunhead, it was surrounded about a bunch of different athletes. Bunheads were dancers, but Make It or Break It, they were gymnasts. They were storytellers with their bodies. They were athletic, competing gymnasts from Boulder, Colorado, who were just phenomenal. The main girl, essentially, like her plot line, I didn't care for it too much, so wasn't into Make It or Break It too hard. And then I found out my favorite actress, Nicole Anderson, aka the most underrated actress in the world, was in it. And I watch anything with Nicole Anderson in it, if I'm being honest. I watched Jonas, I fell in love.
I'm your Macy.
I watched her in Beauty and the Beast. I watched her in every role that she played after, and then she played the role of Kelly Parker in Make It or Break It, and I fell in love with that character, even though she was so annoying, so mean, and absolutely the villain.
Kelly Parker. She's a she-devil with horns.
Fell in love with her, loved her to death.
Look, I know that I've done some shady things in the past, but your friendship has shown me that gymnastics is more than cutthroat competition. There's a real sisterhood in it.
But they canceled it. And the thing is, the main character eventually, like, she has this whole spat where she can't handle it. She gets pregnant and she leaves the show. And I can understand if, like, you know, that's why they canceled the show. They were like, the main character's gone. She doesn't want to sign another contract. What are we gonna do? We gotta just cancel the show. That has to be it. But they had a whole nother season without the girl, and that season by far was the best season, when they went to the Olympics. And that was my favorite season. Let's be real. Yes, there were some dark twists and turns when they were like doing their first couple seasons, but that season when they were in the Olympics was so heartfelt and genuine, and it brought back this sense of friendship that was in season 1 that had begin to like disintegrate throughout the seasons. Because when you have so much drama between friends, obviously it starts to disintegrate and wear down on your friendship. But that season brought back that feeling, that Arthur's of the Round Table mentality that I so love in so many different like shows and in movies and like just everything. It brought that back and it gave it to us in a way that like we weren't expecting it. Kelly Parker became a part of the gang. Like it was so good. That season was so good. And then they canceled it after that. And I was like, why did you make this season so good if you were just gonna cancel it? If you were just gonna like make it disappear? What was the point? You tell me what's the point? Calm down. We still have to get to our last one, which, I'm not gonna lie to you, is the one that pissed me off the most. Like, all of these, like, just made me upset genuinely, and I was like, I'll never get to know the end of these characters, and it's the reason why a lot of the times I won't watch television shows, because then I get emotionally invested in these characters that I never see the end to their story, and it makes me so upset. So, I usually just wait until the series is over, watch what I can, and if I find out it ends on a cliffhanger, I'll stop at a good point, and I'll be like, this is it for me, I'm out. This show is called Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger is our last show on the list because it's the one that pisses me off the most. It was a genuinely great show, post-modern freeform turnaround, a superhero show.
I suppose the best place to start is with a story.
A story of a girl who looks like an angel and a boy who moves like a shadow in the world.
If you let those wounds become scars, you're gonna look at yourself one day and not recognize what you see.
Automatically got me. Had Olivia Holt in it. Love her. Loved her since her Kicking It days. And then a dope soundtrack.
Anything to feel something, 'cause I just don't know where. Say anything, I just gotta feel something. Yeah, we gotta deal with things in life to find the one thing. Now I'm hunting for the one change, need to function. Or the situation that the love bring, but the situation not the reason I decided to beat it. It's a one-on-one thing.
And a killer storyline in New Orleans. Like, you had the bag, Freeform. You had the bag in your hand. You were cradling it like a baby. And then you saw that baby's face and you were like, this baby's not pretty enough. Boop, I'm throwing it out. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you even thought that that was okay. Because the show was so good. It had dynamic characters. Again, It had a beautiful setting of New Orleans, but not only did it have a beautiful setting, but it did the thing that I loved in originals. It interwove that setting within the storyline. It didn't just use it as a backdrop, it used it as its own kind of character, which I appreciate. The characters, both of the two characters, both Cloak and Dagger, had deep backstories that had nothing to do with each other, but somehow had a beautiful story that melded together. That is so hard to find in a dynamic duo. That is so hard to find, because usually the whole story is about their dynamics of going back and forth. They don't have great and rich backstories, but Freeform did that for the first season. They gave them whole rich 5-year backstories. They even ended on a season 1 cliffhanger of the guy running from the law, and it just became crazy, and his mom.
Everything perfectly, you're gonna lose me.
Oh, baby, I'm afraid even if you do everything perfectly, I'm gonna lose you.
Love his mom. His mom was like trying to like bend the law to get her son to come home and all these different things. Season 2 came out and the girl ended up having to give up her soul to be a guide to the gods, like Baba Yaga. All that stuff happened. Like hope and fear intermingled. The blue note, like all that great things happened. You had a phenomenal villain that they vanquished. You had a crossover.
Who are you?
What the hell have you done?
With runaways, and then you just disappear. That is insane to me. You had a beautiful show, a superhero show. You know what makes the most money in today's day and age? Superhero stuff. Because everybody loves a good story about a good hero. And those two were kind of just like, perfect. And it's not like we're out here asking them to get married and date. No, we were like, okay, you know what? Their relationship is friends. Dope. If they want to get together, fine. Dope. But we don't even need that. The storylines you've created and set up for seasons ahead will keep us involved, but you let it go. You fumbled the bag, Freeform. Anyways, that is the last of the shows. There's plenty more, Baby Daddy, Young and Hungry, that were cast away by Freeform, but those are my top 5 that I would love to see endings to at any point in my life before I get gray and old, please, Freeform, and would love to know the end to. So, I'm Yummy.com. Thank you for watching. You should all check out these shows, my internet friends. Don't worry, I'll be back, so stay tuned.